Hey Libra, Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your January 2026 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at the key themes that are playing out for you this month. Education, soul tribe, and soul purpose with self-love at the bottom of the deck. Libra, this is about you accepting that there is a new version of yourself that is coming to the forefront. You have grieved an old identity that you've had to let go of, or an old role that no longer fits this new version of yourself. And I see that you have been practicing compassion. You've been practicing self-care. And I see that you have spent a lot of time here in introspection. You have soul purpose, which also connects to the hermit. And I feel like you have been in a period of your life, perhaps months. For some of you, it was all of 2025 or even years of being in this hermit energy where you are naturally a social butterfly, but you may have needed to take some time out for yourself. And I see self-love as something that's really coming in strong here. And this is a year where you are stepping into your confidence. You're stepping into your confidence, and because you have soul tribe, and soul tribe is saying you are connecting with new people, new energies, new vibrations. You don't have to go it alone anymore, Libra. Whatever that may have looked like for you. This could be in your business. Perhaps you have been an entrepreneur doing everything all on your own. This could be the year where you call in help. You may hire people to work with. If you have been single, this could be a year where you're setting an intention of putting yourself back out there, dipping your toes in the water. If you've been wanting to strengthen existing relationships in your life, but it's been a challenge because you've been focusing on yourself first, and perhaps that hasn't given a lot of effort or time for other relationships to blossom and bloom. I feel that this year for you, and I say this year, even though this is a January reading, is because January is setting the tone for the year ahead. And because I see that there's been a lot of healing that's taken place, you are creating space in your world to connect with others in a very real, raw, and vulnerable way. And that can be scary. But here you are opening up to it, Libra. You have friendships. This also speaks of family, perhaps family healing. Many of you have been dealing with your own emotional baggage or your own processing of emotion when it comes to family members, when it comes to perhaps grief or betrayal, because I am getting a message here of someone may have let you down in some way. Perhaps someone didn't live up to an expectation, and it caused you to look at yourself and ask, what expectations am I placing on myself that are impossible to meet? So it almost feels like a bit of a mirror was held up here for you, Libra. And that's where the soul purpose came in. And I see that you've also been questioning or asking, what direction now? Like, where do I go from here? If I am not connected to that old identity or that old role, who am I? So there is this feeling of discovery with soul purpose. This is life path, and many of you have shifted the trajectory, meaning you're no longer meant to continue on the path or the road that you've been on. I feel like there is a pivotal moment here or a pivotal change that's coming in for you early on in 2026. Even though this is a January reading, it feels like the first quarter of the year is very significant. Now, I also see here a massive awakening. This is connected to the Judgment card in tarot. So this is perhaps a reckoning. There could be a second chance that's being offered up to you. And this could also be you considering your next moves. Where do you wish to be? So soul purpose is really helping you connect to your spiritual truth and your essence when it comes to your health goals, when it comes to your professional world, your craft, your career, your business, but also when it comes to your tribe, the people that you care about deeply, and perhaps the people that trigger you. And instead of pointing fingers, I feel like there is this understanding, this deeper level of awareness, and that is growth. That is evolution. You should be proud of yourself, Libra. There is a shared journey that you are experiencing with another individual. And we'll clarify as we move forward. We'll look at all categories of life here. But I do see that there's a shared journey with someone that you are either alongside physically, or it's something you've been maybe healing from or integrating because the past lessons were so powerful that you have taken the time to review and really reflect and ask, who am I now that I have this newfound wisdom, and how do I step into this new sense of purpose? You have education coming through here as another key theme, which speaks of knowledge, perhaps online courses. Some of you are getting back on track with your learning, with your financing. I see education also connects to like administrative tasks or bookkeeping, accounting. This may even speak of getting organized. So you may be getting organized this month and really grabbing the bull by the horn, so to speak. You may even be training, learning a new skill set, or challenging yourself in some way. And you could be doing your own due diligence or doing your own research here. Maybe you want to go on a bit of a fast or a juice cleanse, or you could be detoxifying. I'm getting solar plexus chakra. So some of you may have had gut imbalances or gut issues, and perhaps you're doing your own research when it comes to health or when it comes to certain perhaps routines or things that you would like to try or test out when it comes to maybe rebalancing your microbiomes. But I do see here your own research is going to be beneficial. But of course, get professional guidance and advice if need be. Some of you may even be connecting with a health professional in the month of January. This could be a time where you are getting a wellness check or getting your teeth cleaned. It could even be you are booking an appointment with your therapist or a chiropractor. So I do see here getting in the books or getting an appointment down on the books here with education. Some of you could be writers, authors, publishers, and you may be writing down your ideas, writing down your intentions. You may love to journal. I love journaling, and I do a New Year's routine or exercise every year where I journal about the previous year. So what has worked in 2025? What do I need to release? What can I bring with me? What do I want to step into? So I love to journal and put everything down on paper, because then I can come back to it and revisit and check in. So it's a good way to show up for yourself, and it kind of brings in a bit of accountability. All right, Libra. What is showing up for you? Oh my goodness. The World at the bottom of the deck. You have the Ace of Wands, the Sun. You have the Knight of Swords, Strength, Knight of Cups, and Justice with the World. You are wrapping up one of the biggest seasons of your life. And I see a huge victory here. When the World shows up, this is about putting yourself out into the world in some way. No more hermiting, no more playing it small, no more shying back. You are meant to step into the light here. That sun is a powerful energy of renewal, rejuvenation. And I'm also getting here for some of you, there may have even been a vitamin D deficiency. So if you live in maybe the frozen tundra, I live in Wisconsin. We have about a foot of snow on the ground right now. And I don't always love to be outside when it's negative 50 outside. Okay, it's not negative 50, but it feels that way. So it can be difficult to get out in the sun, but if you do live in a region that is colder, double check your vitamin levels. Maybe you're getting your markers tested or checked out, Libra, but the world is reminding you that the world is your oyster, that you have the ability here to not only dream big, but to go after what it is that you want. And that's why the Knight of Swords is showing up here, because the Knight of Swords could be you connecting through technology. Maybe you're putting your business online, or you are creating classes. I mean, education could even be classes, courses, workshops, seminars. It could be teachings or an ebook online that you are taking, or you could be hosting. I'm also getting real estate here for some of you. So there could be action, a lot of it for you in the month of January. And the world is saying, you've done it. Like you have gotten through some of the hardest times of your life. And I feel like the worst is behind you, whatever that may mean for you, Libra. Now, Ace of Wands is beautiful. It's one of my favorite aces because it's connected to our spiritual self. It's passionate. It is fiery. And this ace is all about that spiritual charge behind your purpose, which you actually have here, right? You have soul purpose coming up, and there is a new sense of identity, a new role, a new sense of this is my purpose. This is what I'm here for. This really lights me up. This brings in a bit of a supercharged energy. So January, yes, a fresh start, but it's a new year where you are shedding the old skin of the year of the snake, right? 2025, a 9 collective energy, moving into the year of the horse, freedom. Perhaps some of you are moving towards financial freedom, maybe freedom of some sort of responsibility or role that you've outgrown, or you got sick of. You didn't want to be in that version of your life anymore. And I see that the Ace of Wands is not only the seed of potential, but you see that it's growing into these beautiful cherry blossoms. And I'm also getting here Venus energy, which you are ruled by Venus. So it's like you're creating a beautiful life for yourself, one that you don't have to run from, one that you don't have to escape from. You have the sun here, and the sun is you enjoying all that life has to offer. And even though there are low notes in every season of our lives, you don't have to sit in that energy for years on end like perhaps you have in the past. I see that with the sun, you are moving into one of the happiest eras or happiest times of your life. So get ready, Libra. It feels like you are setting your intentions and you have no plan of ever not fulfilling them. You are going after what you want. Look at this Knight of Swords. He is on his motorcycle and he is all in. And with that powerful, brilliant mind of yours, because the Knight of Swords represents communication, represents the intellect, the mind, I see that you are all in because you realize that the power of the mind is significant, that anything that you set your mind to, you can accomplish. And so the Knight of Swords could be working, as I mentioned, with technology, but I also see here that you are retraining your own mind, the power of your thoughts. Some of you may be doing a lot of reprogramming. Perhaps you are working with a coach or a mentor, someone here that is part of your soul tribe. We talked earlier about a shared journey. There may be a connection where you're meeting someone over Zoom or you're meeting them, online, and you're learning a lot about yourself because that mirror is being held up here. I also am getting a business class. So some of you could be taking a business class, or you're taking a class that's going to help you maybe start your own business or grow or expand a business here. The Knight of Swords also connects to the throat chakra. So even though I'm picking up on the solar plexus, the sun here also, you may be speaking up, advocating for yourself, speaking out to the universe, saying, this is what I want, universe. I don't want to stop until I achieve what it is that I've set out to achieve, meaning you're not going to let distractions of old systems get in your way of what it is that you want. And it doesn't mean that you're pushing through with this sense of, how do I put that? It doesn't feel like it's like barricading through the jungle and like kind of whipping through every single tree in your way. It almost feels like soft compassion. So you have the strength coming in, which actually is compassion. And the way that I was seeing it wasn't like barricading, taking a machete and going through the jungle and just chopping down everything in your path. It feels like it's more of a, like, this is what I want and I'm going for it, but it's at my pace. It's at my speed. This is what is in alignment with my truth. And your energy may feel more revitalized, Libra. You may feel more momentum picking up here because you are getting honest with yourself and you're softening into your strength. And as Brene Brown says, vulnerability is our greatest strength, and you have it showing up here. And you see that she has befriended this lion, and the lion's eyes are closed. Oftentimes when an animal feels comfortable with you, right, it'll close its eyes. And what if this lion is yourself? What if this is your own primal urges here, where you can soften into this trust, where you start to trust yourself instead of constantly feeling like you're in a state of fight or flight? That's what I mean by softness. We have the Knight of Cups. So 2 action takers on top of the Ace of Wands. Whatever it is that you want, you're going for. And I see that the Knight of Cups is connected to the heart. This is something that's very meaningful, perhaps a relationship that you adore. This could be connected to a passion project that you have. I see that you've made choices in the past that you may have been tripped up over, or you may have even doubted or second guessed. If you look at this knight, Libra, he is playing chess, and there is a component that has been knocked over. And I see that you have felt knocked over at times. You have felt like you haven't been a player in the game of life. And that's where that hermit energy that I was picking up on had come from, where you felt like, okay, I'm not in this. Like, I feel like I've failed, or I feel like I need to step out from whatever this is for a moment. But you're back in the game, and it's your time to make your move. That's why the chess card is here. But this is a move that is based in heart energy, based in self-love, based in this compassion, this confidence, this acceptance, not based on fear. All right? Justice. Your scales are being rebalanced, Libra. And I see that many of you have gone through a situation that felt unfair, unethical, or you just felt like your scales were thrown so far off balance that you didn't think you could ever get back to a state of even keel, right? But you're here, you're doing it. And I see that you may even have some of you may have dealt with a legal situation with the education card. Maybe this was a legal battle regarding maybe family, custody. This could even be rental, real estate. I'm also getting here with the Knight of Swords. It feels like you are the recipient of some sort of happy end or happy result after kind of going at it for quite some time. Some of you may have felt like you've been at this and you've lost at times your own strength, or you've doubted, but that sun tells me that there is a new beginning here with that Ace of Wands. So something is happening in your favor. There is some sort of accountability or balance being restored, and it feels like it changes and shifts everything for you with that world. Now, the world is also connected to Capricorn energy, and we are in Capricorn season until the end of January, where we move into your fellow air sign Aquarius. So I do see that there are some shifts happening here, some closing out of cycles, some endings, some completions, and maybe even a launching of a product, a good or service out into the world, maybe during Capricorn season. Let's look at career. You have here the clover, the 4-leaf clover. Libra, this is a lucky break. This is good fortune bestowed upon you. I also see that taking a chance, putting yourself out there, it's going to pay off. So don't hold back. Don't wait for the perfect time. I mean, the perfect time is now. January is a fresh start energy for you. Many of you are going to embody a bit of a surprise. Something may come in that's out of the blue, and you may be quite excited. I also see that you may be investing in a class or higher education, or it could even be like a business opportunity. It feels like there are investments being made, but they are going to pay off big dividends. So if this is a property that you are investing in, or if it's a business, I see here that you could triple your income, or you could really profit on something here. There may even be an outdoors type of energy that's coming through for career here as well. So for example, you may work with herbs, or you may work with vitamins or nutritional supplements. You may be called to build. Maybe you work out in the elements. Some of you may be construction workers, or you may work in the automotive industry. I also see that you are shifting directions for many of you, and you could work in technology. I see that here with the World and the Knight of Swords, but I also see with Justice, you may be called to do some sort of humanitarian act this year. Maybe nonprofit as well. You have the offer. Look at that, Ace of Wands. There's a new offer coming in for you, career-wise and financially. It says the universe will meet all of your needs. Call upon your spirit guides, your angels, to assist you during this time. And there is a piggy bank there. So it almost feels like some of you have been waiting for this offer, or you've been adding up. When you think of a piggy bank, it doesn't seem like much until you dump out all the coins and you start adding them up, and you're like, wow, did I really have this much in there? So it almost feels like something small bears big results. That's what I'm getting here for you. Or there could be an offer that comes in unexpectedly, and it has the ability to grow over time, Libra. You also have the designer showing up. You are being called to tune into your individuality and to express yourself. A career in fashion art or any other artistic endeavor could be just for you. Get creative with your finances. Perhaps it's time to discover a new talent. That's that Ace of Wands. This new talent, something that makes you happy. Something that you enjoy, something that's fun, something that lights you up, something that feels calming to your nervous system, something that you have been thinking about, maybe with that Knight of Swords for quite some time. So when it comes to career and finances, there's definitely an improvement here, or a move that you are making that is going to be beneficial with this Justice. All right, let's look at relationships, partnerships, family. What do we have here, Spirit, for Libra? You have the Death card. All right, so the Death is major transformation, Libra. There could be someone who's no longer in your life, or you have completed a cycle. That could be that Hermit energy where you've been in a phase of self-love. And it says growth and transformation, right? What's dead is dead. Something is over. You don't have to go back to the old. This relationship, for some of you, if you have been teetering between this old version of yourself and the you that you are becoming, it feels like even if you are still connected to someone, maybe this is a family member, you don't have to go back to responding to that family member in the old way that you were responding. Even if they haven't changed, you have, Libra. And the death card tells me that you no longer are going to, I don't want to say settle for less than you deserve, but you're never going to let that experience trigger you perhaps as much as it had in the past. So something is definitely transformed or changed. You have transformed and changed, Libra. Blowing a kiss, you have unconditional love, which also connects to that self-love piece. This is giving and receiving. I have a feeling someone has a crush on you, Libra. There may be someone who is trying to get your attention, and some of you, with that Knight of Cups, you may be aware of it, but others of you, you're focusing on living your best life. But I do see here that you may finally see someone in your life that you have a strong connection with, but maybe it hasn't always been noticeable or timing was off in some way, but something is very bright manifesting when it comes to love for you. You're stepping into the light here. Something is being seen, maybe someone is expressing how they feel, letting you know how they feel about you. And you also have the clock. So you're progressing. After a period of taking that time, that necessary time to perhaps heal, you've gone through a cycle. That's where that death card comes in here, because the cycle that you've been in the prior months or years is coming to a conclusion. You're stepping into the Ace of Wands, which is a new sense of passion, a new sense of purpose. Some of you are starting to talk to someone new, or there is the ability here to progress, take a current relationship to the next level if that's something you are wanting. And when it comes to family, there may be someone who's no longer physically in your life, but you have accepted, maybe that's part of the acceptance, that this person is no longer in your life, but energetically they're very much still with you. And yeah, look at that. You have gifts right below it as well. So you could even be increasing your own spiritual gifts, such as your channeling abilities or mediumship, because of someone's crossing, or someone's crossing has enhanced your own skill set. And I see that many of you have the ability to tap in and speak to a loved one or speak to other people's loved ones. This could be part of your work, part of your craft, or something that you do dive into in 2026. All right, let's get a chakra card for you. Let's see what chakra is coming out. I think I mentioned solar plexus and the throat chakra, but let's see what else we need to be on the lookout for. We have the base chakra here, which is also known as the root. And this is about building a strong foundation, Libra. It says, I create stability and security by adequately providing myself with the basic needs of a healthy life, such as shelter, food, water, and clothing. I use my creativity to build a strong foundation, as this is an essential key to my survival and growth. The more inner and outer stability I have, the more grounded and fulfilling my life will become. I respect myself and take care of my physical body by nurturing and nourishing it. My body tells me what it needs. Yeah, many of you are focused on building a strong foundation, and that's going to help your other chakras balance out as well. Because some of you are rejuvenating, really taking a look at all of the energy centers, because you also have the third eye chakra located between our eyebrows here. And this is all about wisdom and discernment. And the message is this: I am open to understanding the spiritual truths behind the situations occurring in my life now. I offer my wisdom to assist others along their path. I trust in a higher source to guide me and to help others who ask for my guidance. I practice discernment and listen deeply within for the truth. I choose to respond to rather than just reacting to situations, acting with clarity, courage, and conviction. And that third eye is also connected to clairvoyance. And many of you are opening up your own spiritual gifts, and your visions may be becoming more profound. You may be becoming more intuitive. Your dreams are becoming louder. So pay attention to that third eye chakra. And lastly, let's get an archetype for you, Libra. What archetype do we have for you? You have two that just came out, so I'm going to find these in the guidebook. We have the river and the fault line. One moment. All right, Libra, your first card out here was the fault line, and the river was underneath it. And it's interesting because one is on page 161 and the other is 131. So there could be maybe a 30-day gap or 30 days between this fault line and the river. So the fault line is the fissure, the crack, the weak link, and the message is this. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue. As fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures, this card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. And that is connected to the root chakra. And it's interesting because I was picking up on the solar plexus and the throat, but the root goes all the way up to the crown, and you have the third eye here as well. So it feels like there's a rebalancing of all your energy centers, Libra. This is about breaking open. It is taking a look at redefining your own reality. This is no more pretending. This is shattering through illusions. And it says here, is it possible that something a loved one said caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended? Revisit it. Time to heal is nigh. In Japanese kintsugi pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious rather than something to be hidden. And I've talked about this before. Kintsugi is that gold splattering used to create beautiful pottery, which I love because when we break open, we never go back to our original form. And we're not meant to. We're meant to use those cracks and take a look at the perfectly imperfect version of ourselves and love ourselves unconditionally through it. And that's where that strength energy comes in, Libra. And lastly, we have the river, the stream, the flow, the current. So we have water and we have land here. This is interesting. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form without asking for anything in return. The river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we are no longer in control. The river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind, the you that stands within the river is the real you, Libra. Full of deep emotion and potential, nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. When this is showing up as the light aspect, which it is, right? We have here not only the sun, but we have the energy of self-love. And it says acceptance right there. This is reflection, which we've talked about with the mirror. It's forgiveness. It is grace. When it's showing up as the dark, and some of you may have experienced that darkness with someone, with your own self. Maybe you've gone through a bit of shadow work, or you've transcended darkness in some way. It's torment of emotions, flooding, feeling overwhelmed. You can only resist the river for so long. Eventually, it will pull you toward change. So you may as well get in with style and grace. And lastly, the river is emotion. When you are in its currents, you will know it by the bursting forth of tears, laughter, song, despair. All the emotions flow in its currents. Libra, that is what I have for your January 2026 reading. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm hearing two names. I'm hearing the name Ashley. Ashley could be your name, someone that you're connected with. And if I didn't mention it earlier, I'm not sure if it came through or not, but the name Lawrence. Lawrence could be a surname, a last name, maybe it's a first name. So take that as it resonates. And I'm also seeing here is it called a Roomba? Like a cleaner. So, I mean, that could be symbolic for cleaning. I mean, some of you, maybe you're cleaning floors as you're listening to this, but I also feel like there is a cleaning of energy that is taking place within your energy centers because you are being asked to cleanse. I mean, that's connected to the river as well. So you may be cleansing, staying hydrated, drinking more water, maybe even taking more baths, Epsom salt baths, getting in a body of water or spending time near a body of water could be very cathartic, very healing, very therapeutic for you, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And I look forward to our next session.